Hey everyone, my name is Bandit, and I'd like to start off today's video by just saying thank you. Thank you so much for getting me to 10,000 views. I can't even express how happy I am. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for getting me this many views. I am absolutely blown away. Today's video is going to be on the GBA League that I'm in. I'm in this league with 12 guys, and it is such a fun experience. If you're not in a league, I would absolutely recommend trying to find one or start your own. They're a ton of fun. Would absolutely recommend. Anyway, how it works is each player gets, in a draft order, gets to pick a team of 11 Pokemon, and before every match that they have against the other players, they get to pick which 6 they're going to bring. I'm going to kind of analyze my team and the opponent's team. I'm going to go over what I could have done better, what I did well, and just a match analysis. I think it'll turn out pretty good. So the team that I drafted is Mew, Azelf, Cloyster, Kyurem, Gligar, Ninjask, Mega Manectric, Victini, Diggersby, Gallade, and Swoobat. The team is basically Suicide Lead Azelf, Fast Offensive Pivot Mega Manectric, Scarfed Victini, Scarfed Diggersby, Specially Defensive Mew, and Physically Defensive Gligar. Together, the team forms kind of a balanced Volturn core, is what I'd call it, I guess. The double Scarfers can seriously put in work, and Mew and Gligar are so abominably tanky, it's extremely impressive. Hopefully these battles will give you some sort of idea of how powerful this team is and why I drafted it. My very first matchup is against SammySprinkler. Sammy was one of my biggest opponents last year. His Florges that he drafted again this season is an absolutely monstrous special tank, and he is known for running a very defensive setup. He also has a Ditto that can absolutely put in work against a lot of players, and of course his Dugtrio for trapping. Overall, this was definitely one of the hardest opponents that I've fought this season, and I'll jump right into the battle. Okay, so Sammy leads off with Tyranitar, and I lead with my Diggersby, not wanting to go with Azelf against a Tyranitar. So I superpower, thinking he might stay in, but he does not. I'm able to switch off into my Mew, who is, he's got Synchronize, of course, so if Scald burns, it will be reflected. However, Scald does not burn. I'm going to go ahead and aim a Taunt at Slowbro, but it's going to hit Florges instead, which is actually even better. He can't do any Wish Protect shenanigans now. He can only Moonblast, which doesn't do very much damage because I am specially defensive. I Super Fang, bring down half his HP. I really do like Super Fang on Mew. It is incredibly useful, and I would highly recommend it. He switches out into Crobat as I roost up, getting my health back, and I do think he is going to U-turn here, so I switch off into my Azelf, who is disposable. U-turn's going to hit, and he's going to switch into his Scarf Ditto. I go ahead and go back into my Victini because he thought I was going to Rocks there, but I did not. He switches to Zygarde as I U-turn into my Manectric, who does have Hidden Power Ice. Unfortunately, I did not see the Yachi Berry coming, and he eats up the Hidden Power Ice without complaining. Does Oko me with a Earthquake crit. Azelf comes in to set up Stealth Rocks before going down. Then I bring in my Gligar. Physically defensive, not going to take any damage from anything. Dragon Tail misses. He switches out into his Crobat. I go ahead and Poison Jab. The only reason I had Poison Jab on this set was to have something to hit Florges with, but it wasn't that great of an idea in hindsight. I U-turn out into my Victini, and he switches Zygarde as I U-turn into my Diggersby. And he actually uses Extreme Speed to get a little bit of damage off before I take him out with my knockoff. At this point, he brings in his Ditto, because he knows that he can get rid of my Choice Scarf, so I go ahead and switch out into my Gligar. It's a lot better to get rid of Eviolite than to get rid of a Choice Scarf in this scenario. He switches to Crobat, but I U-turn out into my Diggersby. He switches back to Florges as I knock off, getting rid of the leftovers, which was nice, because Florges with leftovers is really obnoxious. I go into my Mew as he wishes, And he brings in Crobat. I taunt the Crobat, which wasn't that great. So I'm going to switch off here into my Gligar to eat up the U-turn. No problem there. He brings in his Slowbro as I U-turn into... I'm actually faster, unfortunately. I U-turn into my Mew, thinking maybe Scald will burn this time, but no, it does not. I do not get the chip damage onto Slowbro, which I would have liked. He brings in Tyranitar as I taunt. Now, this is where I make a misplay. For some reason, I thought he would go for Crunch or something, but he does go for Pursuit, and Gligar comes in ready to tank some physical hits, but I U-turn out when he brings in Florges into my Diggersby. Just aim a knockoff at whatever wants to take it. I don't really care at this point. I know it'll take out Florges regardless. He brings in his Ditto, which can force me out into my Gligar. He does U-turn, kind of predicts that. He goes into his Slowbro, and I U-turn off into my Mew, who unfortunately goes down to Scald. At this point, I bring in Victini, because I know that I've got Bolt Strike. He does switch to Crobat, who eats up the Bolt Strike and gets absolutely decimated. Tyranitar comes in. I'm Choice Scarfed into... I should have just attacked him there. I totally bailed. I should not have done that. Anyway, U-turn off into my Gligar to eat up the Earthquake, or actually not take any damage from the Earthquake. U-turn. I am faster than Tyranitar for some reason, unfortunately, into my Diggersby, who actually doesn't take very much damage from the Rock Slide. I go ahead and U-turn off into my Gligar, and he's going to bring in his Slowbro, who is going to actually take a little bit of damage and just chip damage from the poison. That's all I was really going for there. However, knockoff is not going to be quite enough to finish off Slowbro, as he does finish me with a Scald. Overall, I'd say that my three biggest failures of that match were, first of all, not predicting the Yache Berry Zygarde. That's probably its best set, and I really should have seen that coming. Also, the fact that he would stay in against a Mega Manectric that likely has Hidden Power Ice is a good indicator of that. The second thing was I sacrificed my Azelf and my Mew too easily. They could have done a lot more that match, and I just let them go down without really thinking too much about it. And the last thing, of course, is getting chunked by obvious pursuits. Both Mew and Victini were absolutely mutilated by the Tyranitar pursuits that I really should have seen coming. Good game, Sammy. You absolutely deserved the win, and I'm very happy that I did as well against you as I did.